Hey, what's going on, Assassin family? It's your girl, Pretty Sexy Jarna Brand, aka Sonic Assassin. And of course, your girl is back for another review of Wags to Riches over here on Netflix. Of course, we are on episode 7, which is titled Standing on Business. Now, yes, I know my location looks a little different and than normal. Well, today, you guys, I decided I was going to come to y'all from my room and have a little one-on-one session. Um, but yes, as we are getting into episode 7 of Wax to Rich Standing on Business, we see our opening scene is our girl Stony and Miss Alexis. And our girl Miss Alexis is coming to Stony's boutique. And baby, the ladies are walking around and, they're talking fashion. And, we find out how Miss Tony started her business and how she even came up with this idea. Miss Tony opened up her boutique from her settlement of her lawsuit that she won. And, she has a passion for styling and fashion. And it's good to see our girl, Miss Tony, in her element while she is talking to Miss Alexis, and Miss Alexis is loving her pieces. And she's like, oh, girl, I wonder if I can get into this. And Miss Tony shares with Miss Alexis, girl, my piece is stretch. So, I got everything. And, so they get to talking and catching up. And of course, our girl, Miss Alexis, because she is a businesswoman, she's asking Miss Tony's questions about her business and how she's running and operating everything. And, what kind of transition is she looking to do and make forth within the business space and realm. And the chat between the ladies is very positive, good vibe. And like I said, this is why I love Miss Alexis because Miss Alexis is, you know, a believer. She's a pusher. She knows that like, if you have a dream and there's something you want to accomplish, Miss Alexis is gonna make sure that you accomplish it, that you get it done. And I think her seeing Stony in her element really shows her that Stony is really out here working. She's really doing what it has to be done, and while they having themselves a good time, um, Miss Alexis like, let her go and go shop and see if she finds some pieces because she got a thing or two coming up. So I'm here for it. And y'all, as we get into Ways of Riches into our next scene, it is our girls, Miss Alexis, Miss Portia, Miss Ashley, and Miss Sherelle. And baby, they are at a dance class, and baby, the ladies are looking good from head to toe. Their dance instructor comes in, and she is very, very beautiful, I must say. And baby, the ladies are ready to learn um, some steps. And Miss Sherelle's like, is it like the salsa? And she's like, no, not that salsa. It's a different kind of um, ballroom floor dance. And she says, it's kind of got some of that flair, but the ladies is ready to move the hips, 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 move the hips. Okay, now the ladies are stepping out of their shoes. Now the girls are finna get comfortable and get down on the floor, baby. Whenever you gotta take off the shoes, it's gonna be a vibe. And the ladies are enjoying themselves, having a good time. And I expect nothing less because guess what? Whenever these four ladies get together, it's always just a vibe. I mean, it's always a mood. It's always energy. And while they're taking the class and having fun and learning to dance, um, you know, the ladies start asking Miss Sherelle, you know, when is she gonna be walking down the aisle? When is the wedding? When is everything taking place? Like, baby, like what's going on? Cause we got to get ready for it. And you know, Miss Sherelle um, is like looking at the ladies, but also she's telling them, you know, after our last episode where her and her fiance were meeting to do business partnership and paperwork, things got a little tense. And, Miss Sherelle says it has to make sense because they're in business. And she's like, the other ladies should understand where she is coming from because of the simple fact, they are married, they're with their partners, and they should understand where she's coming from. And Miss Alexis also said she understands, as all the ladies do. She said, but just after, they're meeting down with their lawyers and that conversation, you know, it just made her realize that maybe there needs to be a little weight on their relationship until they can come to a mutual ground and work some deal out. And I can only hope and wish for the best. And you guys, let's get into our next scene. But I do hope Miss Sherelle and Chad, you know, do come to some understanding and can tie the knot. But our girl Miss Portia was like, she understands. She like, good thing, they taking this break. So she can drop this baby, then she can slim down, and she can be fine when the wedding come. Okay, Miss Portia, I feel that. Cause like I said, they're in business. I'm pretty sure, they'll be able to work things out. But y'all, as we get ready to get into our next scene, you guys, as we get into our next scene, we are at our girl Mrs. Stoney's event, and baby, our girl Miss Alexis is the first to arrive, and then we have our girl Miss Nikita has arrived. Baby, she's in all white. And the ladies are looking good. They're getting drinks at the bar. We meet Stoney's father. The bartenders are a vibe. Baby, they ready to fix the drinks. They ready to get the ladies mixed and mingles into the cocktails. And, we get to see Miss Stoney's collection and pieces. And honestly, I like some of the pieces that I see um, and love. And then next up on the scene is our girl, Miss Sherelle, and she has brought Fancy with her, which is her best friend, and also one of Miss Stoney's friend is also in the team, so her name is Miss Latoya, and then next person to come out is our girl Stoney in a lovely, lovely pink ensemble. Um, I love it. Her hair, she rocking a bob, and you know, to have Miss Tony, to have all the ladies out on the floor, for everyone to be in good vibes, good spirits. The energy is, it's given, and friendship is there because Miss Sherelle said she did want to help Miss Stoney, transition her business into, a bigger space, a bigger platform. And she said she knows Fancy can definitely do that because Fancy is already in the big stores, sells the big collection and the pieces. And baby, Fancy is walking around, looking at some items. And Miss Sherelle said, I am here because I am about supporting women, and I gave Stoney my word that I would help her within business. And she does have some other investors and marketers and buyers coming, and as we are at the event, everyone is like looking at pieces, picking pieces up, and saying what they would wear, what they like, seeing what they like, and of course, Miss Sherelle picks out something, and Fancy's like, "Girl, I don't see that for you. Are you serious? Are you serious? Right? I don't see that for you. You really want to wear that? You really want to try that on?" And then the next thing we see Miss Sherelle try on one of Miss Donnie's fur pieces, and it's giving a vibe. They're modeling it around, and you know, Miss Sherelle is in support. She says she can do it. Fancy is not a fan of it. Fancy is like, no, 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 no. This is not it. And then we get a scene with our girl Miss Sherelle and Fancy go step outside on the balcony, and they do a little talking and discussing. And Fancy is like, "What did you bring me here? What is this? What is this? I don't like this. I don't like none of the pieces. I don't like the room. I just don't like it." She's like, and then he was like, when you put on that fur, baby, I want to set you on fire. And Miss Sherelle's like, you was gonna set me on fire, Vance? Like, really? Really? And he was like, no, not you, the jacket. The jacket. It was just awful. And I don't think Miss Donnie's pieces were awful. I just think, her clothes are for a particular niche of young ladies, and I just think her demographic is for someone of a younger audience. And I like seeing that she has really just come forth and put out this idea for her business to build it, and that she's been running it. And as we come to find out, Miss Nikita also used to be in the retail and marketing space, and then she moved over to tech. And while they're inside, she's sharing with Miss Tony like information and about the business and when it's like the real pivotal point and take off, because she says, fashion is not forever. Technology is. She says, so it's just something to think about. But she said if she wants to make that transition, she wants to make that move, Miss Tony, the time is now, that Miss Nikita is saying. And just to see the support that she has of the ladies and how they're showing up and showing love, it is very important. And to have a rally of women like that to support you in your vision and in your dream is very, very beautiful, because you can tell these ladies really want Miss Stoney's business to flourish, and they just want to give her like the heads up and the point of views and advice while she has time. And I appreciate that, especially coming from Miss Nikita, because her and Miss Stoney have not really been in a lot of scenes together, and for her to be in this scene in this moment, and to just share sister to sister, I love that. And we go back outside, and Fancy is like he wants to talk to Stony, and with Miss Sherelle outside. And y'all, while they're talking and having a conversation, you know, Fancy asks Miss Stony like, what's her plans? What's the next thing? What's she gonna do? Like, what is her business model? And she gives it out and tells him. And he also advises her, just like Miss Nikita, um, if you want to take off, you want your brand, your business to flourish, and these are the things and the steps that you need to take. And this just the help, because I have my own store, I run it, I sell, I buy, like Fancy is giving, I think, Stoney some great advice. And, Miss Stoney's like, okay, it's a little shade because, he is Sherelle's friend. So, of course, whatever he's saying is because of Sherelle, Miss Stoney says, and the energy that is given off. And I'm not going to say that. I just say, hey, everyone is here to help you grow your business. And sometimes the best advice is the advice you need from people that you don't even know. And yeah, I appreciate just this moment. Very beautiful scene, very beautiful atmosphere. A little shady, but beautiful. And y'all, as we get into our next scene. Oh, yes, y'all. As we enter our next scene, it is our girl, Sade, and she is attending Jules' influencer dinner. And baby, Jules got the girls out. She got the designers out. Baby, she got all the girls at the table that are big in the influencer world and industry. And of course, our girl Sade is dressed like a Barbie from head to toe. And she is Chanel down, classic black and white, looking very, 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 very beautiful. And you know, she sits down, her and Jules, they catch up. Jules introduces her to everyone, and, chats and giggles. And, as they are all sitting around the table and talking, Jules pulls Sade to the side, and she was like, "Bruh, so let me give you the rundown. Let me give you the tea. What's been going on? What's been happening?" And she was like, "So yeah, what's been going on, Jules?" And Jules tells Sade that, baby, well, she finally got paid from Yay. So congratulations on that, love. Is you know, that's how we found out about like a little bit more about Jules in the beginning of the season. And then Jules shares about what went down at Miss Ashley's event between her and Miss Sherelle, and how she felt like she was being ganged up on, and how the ladies weren't really trying to hear her out, and just you know how it just went from being a very calm situation to a very awry situation. And, you know, to see that and to see everything that like happened and went on between all of them, Miss Sade says, you know, she just wishes Jules would, you know, stay out of the drama. And, you know, she knows Jules is a public figure and Jules lives her life so open and publicly that sometimes she thinks that Jules should kind of take a sit back to that and she should not be so public and, you know, open about everything that's going on. But she said she understands, you know, Jules entitled to feel how she feels, especially about these ladies in this situation. And y'all, that is how we end our episode of Wags to Riches, episode 7, Standing on Business. Y'all, it has been your Princess Charlotte Rant, aka Sonic Citizen. And until next time, y'all be safe, y'all be careful. Bye, y'all.